Found love. That's Heavy D and the boys right here on Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is doing wonderfully. Life is a mirror of our soul. A lot of us, we talk about this from a few different directions. Obviously, one of the most common, and still true, all of these, mind you. I think I'm trying to put it into a different light to help us see it. Sometimes looking at things from a slightly different angle. Oh my, look at that. It's a little different. So again, focus-based universe, right? Everything we think about, everything we talk about, everything we look at, everything we pay attention to, whatever, we're putting more power towards. We're helping create, whether we want to, whether we don't want to, whether we're trying to avoid it, and we keep looking at it, we're like, I don't want to hit that, I don't want to hit that, I don't want to, bam. Well, you never really took your eyes off it and looked where you wanted to go. We've talked about accidents in race car driving, right? In race car driving, one of the things when there's an accident, when there's like cars hit and stuff happens, what they tell them is look for the hole and punch it. You look where you're going to go and you just hit the gas because that's your only chance is to get through that hole. If you focus on anything else around you, you will hit that instead. You focus on where you want to go. So focus-based universe helps us kind of understand that, right? And we also talk about frequently us pushed out. Us pushed out's another really, really, really huge one. Once again, kind of implicates us. It's our responsibility to pay attention to our thoughts, to steward our thoughts, and what we are thinking oftentimes about others. It's where a lot of the us pushed out, really, I think, in my mind, kind of comes back on us. It's that movie screen of life. It's like what we're sending out there is coming back, and that's really the big kind of angle I want to sort of take this from. What we send out is what bounces back at us, right? Like if that movie screen exists or if we kind of live in a bubble, right? Whatever. Like the energy we push out finds like energy. That like energy responds the same energy back to us. Now, it may not be direct. I might be in a grumpy mood, for example. This is a fun way where things will play out sometimes. I'll be in a grumpy mood, and maybe I yell at the person at the coffee shop, right? You're a horrible person. You shortchanged me a penny. You're horrible and worthless. Right? And then get my cup, and I'm all angry and whatever. And then I walk off. Well, now that person's been affected. Maybe the next person comes in. They have an experience that's not good, right? I've created a ripple there. But on top of that, I've almost created a karmic ripple now. So now I've sent this out. Now this person's going to interact with someone who will likely interact with someone who will interact with someone else who will interact with someone else. Eventually, that will come back to me. They talk about 6 degrees of separation. We are connected in some strange way to the events that we cause. There's studies that do look into this. I don't want to get too deep into all that, but we're talking about what we send out. These are kind of sort of the mechanisms for how this crazy words we say, right? Like, well, you can't just say everything goes out there and it's us pushed out or reflects back on us. Like, what? Like, how can you say that? Well, there are some studies that suggest that there are some interesting connections between people. I used to call it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon was one of the things I've called it. So there's a few different people. Emilio, I think, is one. Buddies of mine used to do that. It was one of the funniest things, and they were really good. Like, I'd just throw actors out there. I'd look them up online. I had no idea. I didn't know. And they'd, within 4 steps, could get it back to Kevin Bacon. It was so awesome. So that all being said, a lot of times we're in situations, maybe with our specific person, maybe we're not together right now, maybe we're concerned things aren't working out well, right? We're a little scared. Maybe they're talking to someone else. Maybe, who knows? Maybe your boss is looking at you funny and you're wondering about your job. Like maybe that's your little area of life. When we start to have feelings or thoughts about things, about people, about places, about events, when we start to put that energy out, it creates, again, that bouncing back. One of the places this hurts us the most in a lot of cases, and some of us may realize we're doing it, may not, but just may not think it does anything, is when we're upset with another. So maybe this specific person's dating somebody, right? And we sort of have angry feelings towards them. We dislike certain people, maybe our neighbor, maybe that yapping dog, right? These feelings go out there and bounce back to you. Some of us are trying to manifest more love in our life. We're saying we're doing all these wonderful things, for example. Yet we've got this anger streak. There's someone we're angry about. There's some place where we keep finding, maybe it's our sister, right? Maybe it's our neighbor. Maybe it's teacher. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's some person at the gas station, just always, no matter what, doesn't treat you right. And so we hold ill feelings about them. We're sending out a thought transmission, mind you, about somebody else in a negative way. And then over here, we're saying, but I am love. I do love. No, you're a jerkhole. I am one of the lovingest people. I know I hate you, but you are the best. I am the best example of someone who's worked on self-love, you bastard. Are we? Are we really truly paying attention to those places where we're not what we want to be most of the time? That's also going out. That's also affecting our manifestations, our creations. The reason is what we're sending out is what we're getting back. If our energy's tarnished in a way and we're trying to be loving, but it's tarnished in a way over here, that puts kind of a ripple, that puts kind of a smoke, that puts kind of a blotchy, inky color to our aura, right? Like that energy we're sending out is not groovy, as they would say. So what are we putting out? What are we being? If you buy into law of attraction even this much, you realize our focus has power, our thoughts have power. A lot of that, and we always talk about how we try to get that extra sense, that feeling aspect to it, right? What you're vibrating at. Esther Hicks talks of the vibrational escrow, right? We've got this energy. The energy is really what's doing the work. The energy is the component that's reaching back out and pulling back, or bouncing back, really. And it'll be demonstrated through how they act to you. It'll be demonstrated through the people that walk through your door. It will be demonstrated for how people treat you. It will be demonstrated to you on what doors tend to open for you. I'll tell you this, grumpier people, doors don't open the same way as they do for people that are very focused and positive. Doors just open. And we know everybody, all of us know somebody. It's like, yeah, it's like they're the luckiest person alive. And they believe it. They walk around believing stuff's going to open up for them. And you know what? It does. You know why? Because they believe it. That's it. When you believe something so strongly, it becomes reality. When you believe someone's angry and grumpy and horrible, there's a component within ourselves that needs to be looked at because we're seeing in people what we don't like or do like about ourselves. Now, I'll say anybody that's like, Dan, you're great. I love when you say that. It makes me oddly uncomfortable because it's embarrassing, but right, that's awesome. But the reason there's anything that you might like about me is because that's something within you. That's something within you, and when you look at me, I reflect it back to you. It's you pushed out. I am being you. I am you, just so everybody knows out there. I don't actually have my own life. I just walk around constantly trying to be your guys' selves pushed out, right? That's how it behaves. That's how it comes across. You see it as what it is. May not be true, might be true. Who knows? But if you're seeing it, it's reflected back to you. It's kind of like color. I've talked about this before too, right? The reason something is red is not because the reason it's red is it reflects red. All other colors are absorbed, but the color red, it reflects. So the reason it looks red is because red is the kind of frequency that's reflected back to your eyes. So it looks red. Tomatoes reflect red. They absorb all other colors of the spectrum, but reflect red back to you, unless it's a yellow tomato. Whoa, now we're talking crazy. Really, life is constantly demonstrating the way energy works, the way things bounce back, the way things reflect, the way things work. It's based off of what's sent out, and then what comes back is from the sender to begin with. A lot of us question, why does this happen in my life? My life. I'm not talking the world. Talking your individual life, my life, not the whole world. The reason there's horrible things in the world is a different story altogether. If there's horrible things in your life, there's something you can do about it, right? So it comes back to what we're sending out. And if things are coming back that don't seem good, then we need to look at what we're doing. We need to look at what's going on inside of us and figure out where we're sending the bad stuff out. Heal that. Love that. Get affirmations through that. One of the easiest ways to stop a cycle is to do it different next time. So the next time you feel that anger, the next time that person cuts you off, or the next time some horrible thing happens, instead of getting mad and angry, this time just go, no, that's cool. I've done this. Like, I'm not going to make it worse. I'm not going to create more of this. I'm going to stop the cycle by not continuing to do it. I'm going to make the difference by stopping being angry with them. I'm going to make the difference and not cut them off this time. They cut me off. That's cool. I'm going to slow down. Whatever. It sucks, but whatever, right? Maybe I'm still a little angry inside. It's okay, but I'm not doing the behavior again. I'm not repeating it again. You do that once or twice, and you'll notice things stop being patterns. It's not very far out that the bounce back happens. I've found, generally speaking, a day and a half, that's about where my bounce back is. What I'm doing right now, being to people, in a day and a half, I'm going to get the results back. If it's good, if what I'm sending out's good, cool. In a week, day and a half, something good's coming back, probably. What we send out, we get back. As above, so below, right? All these things are related back to the sender, as Elvis Presley said, right? Return the sender, right? Address unknown. Anyway, don't normally sing, don't want to, but life is kind of a mirror to us. It's really easy to figure out what's going on inside ourselves when we look outside ourselves, because outside is yesterday and inside's tomorrow, right? So outside's yesterday, inside's tomorrow. Let's see what we're doing about all that. Hopefully, we can start to turn the tides on some of these things that we're trying so hard to create in our life, but we've got imbalances that need attention. And once those imbalances are taken care of, your specific person may look at you differently and be like, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen you in a few weeks. You look amazing. Like the way life can play out, sometimes it takes a couple weeks. It needs to. Sometimes we need to work on ourselves so what we're vibrating at feels a lot better to be around. And if it feels better to be around, people tend to like to hang out with you and spend time with you, don't they? That's the big difference. All right, we're going out with a great song by Mr. Billy Idol. It's called Cradle of Love. It's right here on Dan Radio Style.